Everybody talks about faith until life punches them in the face. Suddenly it's not enough to quote scriptures. You're broke, sick, confused. You're wondering if God even hears your prayers. And the devil whispers, "Where's your faith now?" Let me be real with you. Faith isn't just belief, it's movement. It's not about saying you believe in God. It's about living like it. Because if you say you got faith, but your actions don't show it, you're not walking in faith. You're walking in fantasy. Number 1, what is faith, really? Well, let's start where the Bible starts. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is substance, not feelings. It's evidence, not emotion. Faith is the bridge between what God said and what hasn't happened yet. You don't need faith for what you can see. You need faith when you're still in the dark, trusting that the light is coming. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God. Hebrews 11:3. This means your faith isn't just for comfort. It's creative. It shapes your world. It builds things. It calls things that are not as though they were. So, if your faith is weak, your world is unstable. Number 2, faith without works is dead. Let's deal with the real. Everybody says, "I believe in God." But James 2 doesn't let us off the hook. Faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. James 2:17. That means talk is cheap. If your faith hasn't changed your behavior, it's not real faith. Abraham had to climb the mountain. Noah had to build the ark. Rahab had to hide the spies. Faith isn't just belief, it's bold obedience. Show me your faith without your works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. James 2:18. In other words, you can't prove faith by quoting verses. You prove it by moving, even when it doesn't make sense. Number 3, the power of mustard seed faith. Now, don't get discouraged. Jesus didn't say you need to have massive faith. He said mustard seed faith is enough. So Jesus said unto them, "Because of your unbelief, for surely I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. However, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting." Matthew 17:20-21. Now, why a mustard seed? Because it starts small, but it grows roots. It pushes through dirt. It doesn't look like much, but given time, it becomes unshakable. Some of you are waiting until you feel 100% sure before you obey. But faith doesn't need to be big to be bold. It just needs to be planted. And let's not forget verse 21 that says, "However, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting." Many translations tend to omit this verse, but praying and fasting is something we should be doing as believers. That's what helps strengthen our faith. Number 4, faith comes by hearing. If your faith is weak, it's probably because your input is weak. So then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Romans 10:17. You're feeding your fear more than your faith. You're watching TikTok all day, gossiping with broke friends, and wondering why your confidence is low. You need a faith diet. Daily word, Bible-based YouTube, worship on repeat, time in prayer. Surround yourself with believers who walk it like they talk it. Iron sharpens iron. Faith grows where truth is preached and God is sought. Number 5, walk by faith, not by sight. Real faith walks without seeing. It steps out before the confirmation email shows up. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. You ever wonder why God doesn't show you everything up front? Because if he did, it wouldn't require faith. And without faith, it's impossible to please him. Sometimes you gotta walk while the ground is still forming under your feet. That's the walk of a believer. Number 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart. This isn't half-hearted faith, it's all in. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. Why does the Bible warn us about your own understanding? Because your logic will talk you out of obedience. Your emotions will paralyze you. Your reasoning will always play it safe. But when you lean on God, he'll direct your path. Number 7, speak it in faith. Jesus gave us the blueprint. So Jesus answered and said to them, have faith in God, for assuredly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, he will have whatever he says. Therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you will have them. Mark 11:22-24. Faith speaks. It declares victory before the battle is over. It praises before the walls fall, just like Joshua at Jericho. What you say reveals what you believe. You can't have power in your life if you have poison in your mouth. Number 8, saved by faith, but not passive. Let's be clear. We are saved by grace through faith. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast. Ephesians 2:8-9. But too many Christians stop there. They think faith means chilling on the couch until God shows up like Amazon Prime. Nah, you're saved by faith, but now it's time to live by faith. That means trusting God with your money, your body, your business, your relationships, everything. Number 9, faith that's willing to sacrifice. Abraham didn't just say he had faith. He put his son on the altar. And he said, do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Genesis 22:12. What is your Isaac? What's the thing you love that God might be asking you to lay down? Real faith doesn't flinch when God says let it go. Real faith says if I lose it, God will resurrect it. Number 10, faith moves in circles. Remember Jericho? God told them to walk in circles for 7 days. No swords, no bricks, just obedience and faith. So the people shouted when the priest blew the trumpets, and it happened when the people heard the sound of the trumpet. And the people shouted with a great shout that the wall fell down flat. Then the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. Joshua 6:20. Sometimes faith looks foolish. Walking, praying, waiting, but when it's God ordained, even your footsteps carry power. 11, don't doubt in the storm. Peter had faith enough to walk on water until he looked at the waves. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water. So he said, come. And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, you of little faith, why did you doubt? Matthew 14:28-31. Some of you stepped out, but now you're sinking because you took your eyes off Jesus. Faith isn't just how you start, it's how you keep going. Anytime the seeds of doubt come in, you have to recalibrate your faith and realize who's in control. Number 12, blessed are they who believe without seeing. Jesus said to him, Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. John 20:29. Faith is seen with your spirit, which your eyes haven't caught up to yet. Some of y'all are waiting for evidence, but faith moves before the proof. Number 13, I live by faith. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. In the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Galatians 2:20. Look, faith isn't a movement, it's a lifestyle. It affects how you spend your money, choose your friends, show up daily, react under pressure, how you talk to strangers, how you handle trials. You either live by faith or you live by fear. Number 14, pray with faith that won't quit. Now, Jesus told a story about a widow who kept bothering a judge until she got justice, saying, there was in a certain city a judge who did not fear God nor regard man. Now there was a widow in that city, and she came to him saying, get justice for me from my adversary. And he would not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, though I do not fear God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubles me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. Then the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said, and shall God not avenge his own elect who cry out day and night to him, though he bears long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he really find faith on the earth? Luke 18:2-8. This wasn't just about prayer. It was about persistence. You don't stop praying just because it didn't happen yet. You don't quit trusting because it's hard. You press, you persist, you believe anyway. Okay, guys, faith is the currency of heaven. You can't buy your way into God's presence, but you can believe your way in. And once your faith is real, it's dangerous. So today, stop just talking about faith. Live it, walk it, speak it, sow it, risk it, obey it. Because without faith, you'll always be stuck at the border of your blessing. But with it, mountains move, doors open, giants fall. And you become the man or woman God called you to be. And remember, we locked in. It's due season. It's your boy, Carl Anthony. All right, peace.